Hi everyone, it's Maddie. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm coming to you with a requested video and it's a comparison between two bags, the Neverfull MM in Damier Ebene and the Longchamp Le Pliage in the medium size. These two bags do have a lot of similarities. They're both totes and they're both pretty sizable. The big difference I would say in choosing between the two is that the Longchamp is basically 1/10 of the price of the Neverfull Le Pliage, or sorry, gosh, I'm already getting screwed up. The Neverfull MM from Louis Vuitton. However, for me, those kinds of things don't necessarily always play into it when choosing a bag, but I know that it can be a big factor, like budget, either. I mean, the difference between $100 and $1,000 is really big, but in terms of like function and everyday use and what you want to do, I think this could be helpful for those who are trying to decide whether the Neverfull, I guess in a sense, is worth it to add to their collection. So without further ado, let's just get to comparing. So as you can see, one feature of this Longchamp bag that the Neverfull does not have is that this can fold up to be highly compact. There is a snap on this side of the bag that kind of just basically lets you fold up the bag. There's a second one here, a little flap, to be great for storage and very compact and like all kind of snug. So that makes this a really great travel bag, especially like as a one more thing that you stick in your bag in case you are traveling and you end up purchasing more things, you end up coming home with more than you have. You can fill this bag up and kind of use it as a second carry-on and then check. So what I do is I'll fill this up so that I'll have my purse, this will be my second carry-on, and then I'll check my rolling suitcase on the way home. So that's kind of an advantage of this bag. It opens up to be quite large though. And first thing to compare would be the strap drop. The Longchamp has a slightly longer strap drop, as you can see here. And not only that, due to the construction of the bag, the Longchamp can kind of sag a little bit more and provide a little bit more room for you, whereas trying to do the same thing on the Neverfull, it just wouldn't work. So with the Longchamp, you can see I can very easily take this and kind of do this elbow motion and get it up over my arm like so, and there's plenty of room. But at the same time, the Neverfull is still pretty generous. This is the MM, and what I could kind of finagle it, but I would mostly go like this to get this bag on. So just to take a step back, this is how it looks on my frame. I'm 5'6" and not small, large even. Okay, so these are how the two bags sit on the body. The Longchamp right now is very soft canvas material, as you can see, and plastic lined on the inside. There is one pocket here and it zips shut. The bottom expands like so, which you couldn't really see with nothing in it. Maybe I can do a comparison of the two bottoms. A better idea for the size. I could get a tape measure and just measure it out, but you can always look up the dimensions online. I find that those measurements don't really mean anything to me. I mean, obviously it means something because it's like a standard way of measuring things, but it doesn't make it any easier for me to conceptualize how big the bag is or how it will fit or how it will feel. So here are the two bottoms. Let me see if I can go like this. So they're basically the same in length and width. The difference being that the Longchamp is very flexible. Like you can like roll it up, you can push it out, whatever. The Neverfull, especially the Damier Ebene, is pretty stiff. So the bottom's always going to kind of be this like flat thing. I never have understood people who need to use a base shaper in a Neverfull because to me like it stays very flat and shapely. You can, with the Neverfull, modify the shape here by pulling in the tabs, which is a nice second feature, second way to wear the bag, which does add value. For closure, the Neverfull just has this single hook here, whereas the Longchamp has this zipper with the little zipper pull there that says Longchamp, and then these leather tabs. My Longchamp, this one, which is the second one I've purchased, is actually made in China. Some of the bags, and my first one was made in France. To me, it does make a difference, and I know it's a touchy subject with some people, because people are like, well, it's made in China anyway, like, you don't know, and then other people are like, why do you even care? And then people are like, well, it really does matter, it's a French brand, it should be made in France. And I'm not going to get into all of the details of why I care and why I think and support it in this video, but I will just say that this bag is made in China, and I would prefer it to have been made in France because it's a French brand, and just leave it at that. So this is the basic shape of the Le Pliage. So now I'm going to fill up my Neverfull with how I usually pack it, and then we will transfer everything into the Le Pliage and see how it fits from there. So first, big open beautiful red interior with a zip pocket on the inside, as we all know. Whoop. Let's pull it out. That guy. This is the old version of the Longchamp. Gosh, I'm getting so screwed up. The Neverfull 2, it does not have the removable pouch that the new one comes with. So first things first, I will put in my laptop, and this is the MacBook Air 13-inch. Then I will put in my Damier Ebene Pochette Accessoire. Just kind of sit it up. And normally what I do is I clip this to the D-ring inside the Neverfull. However, for the purposes of this video and like doing this one-handed and holding everything, I am not, because that would be very difficult. So this is the Louis Vuitton cosmetic pouch in the PM size and monogram. To be careful, not get too screwed up here with all the names. Okay, mini pochette, and again, I normally clip this into the D-ring, but because we're just trying to be easy, let's not. Just kind of drop that in on top, and you can see it's getting full. Okay, I'll throw my scarf in on top. Trying to keep that all in there, and then this bag's pretty full, and it's actually quite heavy. You can probably squeeze a lot more in there, like a water bottle or an umbrella or things like that. But these are just my basic items, and you can't even see because the scarf's in the way. Inside this, I should have said, inside the Pochette Accessoire, I have a mini wallet, my keys, my Hermes Bastia. I could just show you really quick. I'm so unorganized today. There we go. Everybody's in there. A couple lipsticks, keys, couple sticky notes, compact. That's the Empreinte key clay, and that's the Hermes Bastia. The mini pochette has all my normal like computer accessories, cords, headphones, chargers, and then the cosmetic pouch has just a little bit more makeup. Okay, so that's everything in the Neverfull. I will put it over here. Woo! While we load it up to see how it all fits in the Le Pliage tote. So starting with the heavy guy, the laptop. Tricky because it's kind of bendy there. Maybe I'll do it on this side. Okay. This one's hard to see inside too because it's all that black plastic coated canvas. The Pochette Accessoire, and you can't see, but there's no D-ring inside this bag, which is, it's okay because the bag zips shut. I really enjoy the D-ring just for keeping everything bolted down, especially for, you know, trips and stuff. I think it's just more secure. I know even though the Neverfull is open top, I just feel better having everything like bolted down. I don't, maybe I'm weird, but tell me if you feel the same about the D-ring. I really love using the D-ring. So okay, anyway, mini pochette, stick it inside. And you can see that this bag already, like how the Neverfull kind of just nicely held itself open, so I could show you. The mouth of this bag is like floppy like the rest of it, so it's kind of hard to hold. Okay, cosmetic pouch. Whew. All right, and now scarf on top. Okay, so this is the Longchamp Full, and as you can see, it's pulling a lot more on the straps, and the strap drop is getting bigger, but it's also like very saggy. Like this is the laptop you can see on the bottom, and there's like no shape to it, so if you want to get into things, you kind of have to rifle around inside, and it's hard to see and like manage everything because it's so squishy. Just zip it up just to show. And there's a lot more room in this too, but I probably wouldn't do that just because it's so hard to find things as it is. I feel like if this were brimming full of stuff, I wouldn't really be able to do it. Both bags are great for this kind of action where you look inside like this. See it on the Neverfull. You just pull one strap down. Actually, this is a lot easier because it just kind of like all opens. So maybe the Neverfull does lose in terms of security. The other thing that happens with the Le Pliage, which you'll see right now, is that this strap always wants to fall off. It's a lot like the GST in that regard. So what I do is I take the exterior strap and fold it under and put that closest to my shoulder. So then it stays secure just by folding it like that. I guess the conclusion is I am a much bigger fan of the Neverfull. I think because of all the visual details and the versatility and just the overall function of the bag, I like an open top tote more. And you know, the places where I'm using an open top tote, I think the D-ring is enough security for me, and I'm not really worried about it falling over and spilling. I don't really leave my bag unattended that way. The Le Pliage is a great travel edition bag. It's great to like pack it full of stuff returning on a trip. But as far as running around town and actually using, I really think of it more as like, I would bring it to the store as like a substitute grocery bag because you can pack a ton in it and you're just basically going from the grocery store to your house, but you don't need to like actually use it as a functional bag because I think it kind of loses a lot of functionality in that way. It's hard to see inside. There's not really a good way to organize. The one slip pocket doesn't really hold anything. And if anything, I wouldn't want my phone right here because I feel like it would just fly out of this little patch pocket. So it's really more, to me, it's more of a backup tote, backup bag. I used this bag exclusively in when I was in college as a book bag, and I really loved it then. I didn't know what I was missing out on then with the Neverfull, but I would say if you're considering the Neverfull and you're thinking, no, that's silliness, like I should just save my money and go for, you know, a similar tote of like a great French fashion house and, you know, it's not really worth it, I would say that I think that the Neverfull is a good investment. I mean, it's obviously a very expensive bag, but the use that I've gotten out of this bag is 2 years old and it looks like brand new, and it's just so functional for the tote that I need it for, and it makes me so happy that I gotta say, this is like turned into like a little Neverfull love fest and not so much a comparison, but there is no comparison. The Neverfull is the winner. Anyway, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful or interesting to you. And please like this video if you liked it, or leave me any comments or questions down in the comments below, and subscribe if you haven't already. Love you guys, and I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye. Blah.